All right, and we're live. Just going to in the Discord as per usual. There we go. And so today we're going to be returning to our Battleship app that we're making, and the plan is to do some debugging. Oh, okay, there we go. We did some, well, actually, we don't need to do some debugging because I did some off camera, but I'm going to go through what was going on yesterday, and also, I guess, continue on. So basically yesterday we were having an issue where, in the test specifically, we were having an issue with the needing bang operators like this for accessing the board object, right? I'm just going to start the timer. But basically the issue turned out to be, and I'll go through this again when more people join, but the issue turned out to be inside of the, well, okay, this is kind of a workaround, I should mention. But the kind of issue was that this no unchecked indexed access property was set to true, which just is essentially just an option for stricter type checking. But for the purposes of this project, I was like, it's kind of a nuisance, so I just disabled it, and it literally fixed everything. So, again, probably a workaround. I tried other shit too, like I tried to create a specific type called game board table, and like try to have that explicit, but nothing was really working. I did a little bit of this after work. And the other thing that was happening was our tests were failing because where was the code for this? Our ship rotations were not valid. Or we were essentially, like, to use this example, we were essentially rotating the ship into another. So we had a situation like this, set up by this test, and then basically what was happening is we wanted the rotation of the ship back to horizontal to fail, right? Which it wasn't. It was turning into a situation that was looking like this, right? Which is obviously not ideal. And the reason for that was because in our is buffer around ship helper function, which is part of the valid ship position function. This is just like a helper function to, take some of the load off of this function. Actually, no, it wasn't there. Sorry. It was up here. So in this check orientation, essentially what this was doing is it was assigning a constant for which orientation the ship is in, either horizontal or vertical, right? And what we were having is, instead of orientation is not, like, we weren't explicitly checking for it to be undefined, we were just checking orientation like this, which is important to note because the orientation value is defined in the ship is either 0 or 1 by this enum. Okay? The issue here was that this check was failing even though orientation was defined as being horizontal. Because basically what we're checking here is we're checking, is there a defined orientation in the function? Like, are we passing in a defined orientation? If we this was the intention. If we are, we set it to that value. Otherwise, we use the ship's orientation, right? The ship's existing orientation. And the reason why we have this is to check for rotations, right? To explicitly check a ship in a different rotation to see whether it will fit. That's why we have this optional property or argument, right? But the problem is because of the way we implemented the ship orientation type or enum, an orientation of horizontal was a falsy value, meaning that this check failed, and even though orientation was defined to be ship your orientation.horizontal, it wasn't actually checking for a horizontal orientation because this test was failing, because ship orientation.horizontal is falsy. So that is why. So to get around that, like, so if I run the test, it's going to fail because this is a falsy test. But if we explicitly add not equal to undefined, because like in the case that we don't pass any variable orientation, then we set it to ship orientation if there's no explicit orientation given. I know that's probably kind of confusing. But now if we have this explicit check for undefined, instead of, because orientation could be 0, which is also falsy, then the test passes. So that was the problem that we were having yesterday. So, I've gotten around that. But anyway, so I think today I'm going to proceed with actually making the board itself. So I was thinking to do that, I could make a game board display module. And essentially the game board display module attaches itself, or I could even call it player display, to be honest with you. Because then the player would essentially be the board itself. Although I don't know how I want to actually do this. I guess I could do it through the player. But then there's going to be a lot of dot accessors. I don't know. Maybe the board display can have a given board. Right? So we can handle it like this. So we can create the board as its own thing. Okay, so that's like a slight refactor. So then to do that, I'm going to need to actually load the DOM here. So npm run dev. Good. So we'll call this player, because here's the thing, is do I want it to be a board display or a player display? Only because I think our place ships mode will be maybe handled by a separate object. I'm not exactly sure yet how I'm gonna do this mode. But I should think about it, because we're gonna have a mode where we can place the ships onto the board, like this, and then we're gonna have another mode where you actually start playing with the side-by-side boards, except the opponent is gonna be a computer, right? So that's kind of what we're thinking. So I can set up the objects anyway. So I just want to think about how to do this. I don't know, I just feel like the player object is redundant. I don't know, we'll work with it this way. We'll do game board display dot TypeScript. So we'll say export class game board display. we'll say private game board equals is of type game board. And then constructor will say game board equals new game board. And I don't think the game board itself has anything in the constructor. No, the constructor is just blank. There's no arguments. So then for this board, obviously we want to have control of the DOM, right? So then we also need to add this to index.html. Or not index.html here, index.typescripts. Import game board display. Right. Which is going to error out, obviously, because we're not actually using it. So within the content, we probably want to have a class called like game boards or something, or game. And then maybe another class called settings or something. Right? So we'll have the game up here, and then we'll have settings at the bottom. So this gives us a div to target for this class. So what we can say is we can say private because this is the game board display, so I don't know, maybe I want to add it to I don't know if I put the constant in read only game div equals as a and then I need to add DOM to the types for this too. DOM, or was it HTML? Maybe I need to install the DOM types. Hey anime, how's it going? You caught me early this time. Types DOM? No. Let me see. TypeScript. DOM types. I just forget how to get the types in here. Oh, it's in the lib. Sorry. Maybe this will work? HTML. Yeah, there it is. Okay. There's our types. We HTML div element. Div equals document dot query selector dot div dot let's do dot right. Type HTML div element. Oh, because it might be null. I see. There's a way to just explicitly type it here. Okay, that's fine. So then ideally what we want to do, and I'm not sure whether we actually have cell displays for each. Actually, I might want to rename this to game cell. Game cell. Board cell. Because we have a game board and a game cell. That might make more sense. So I might rename all these to game cell. Board cell to game cell. And then I'll rename this to game cell. Yes. And delete. Okay, that should be fine. I think that works. Because I'm going to have a game cell display as well, which will be managed by the game board display. So the individual cells will be their own little elements, right? So we should probably also make a class for that. I should also probably move all of the modules for display into their own folder. Or should I? I don't know. Does it make it too hard to keep track of here? I don't know. I'll leave it as is for now, and if it gets untenable, then I'll fix it. Okay, so we have this, and then we need to obviously make something visible here. So in here we'll do a method like initialize display. This dot init. Just refactor to another function. Maybe initialize game board display? I don't know. I'm not the best with naming conventions here. Okay, so we also probably want like a need the game board. Yo, Jay, how's it going? I can walk through. I fixed the bugs from yesterday. I can walk through it again. I walked through it just at the beginning of the stream, just to have it so that anyone watching the VOD can see right away. But I fixed it, kind of. It's sort of a workaround. But it was bugging me all day, so I found some extra time at work and did a little bit of debugging. That's the benefit of working from home, right? So. But anyway, we're just working on the display. I'm just thinking about how to do this. Because ideally I want to have a board size. Maybe I have that as like a constant that I export from the types or something like that. Oh, just for now, I'll just do this. Sure, yeah, Anime. You can send a link to it in either projects in Discord or what's the channel called now? I renamed it. It's like progress and promotion or something, and self promo. You can send it to either of those channels. So yeah, feel free to do that. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to it here. So we'll do for let x equals 0. Actually, I should probably just stick with the convention. Just size plus so here's our double for loop. Then we're going to create some divs. Or we could even create some game cell displays as well. Then I need to have some sort of board. Private game board div, which is HTML div element equals document dot create element div. And this game board div dot class name equals game board. And we can append it to the game div. Oh, sorry, this document div. Was it going to say it's because it's read only? Oh, because it's possibly null. Off to your 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. work? Dang. Is there any way you can get the code? Yeah, anime. Check out my GitHub. Here, hold on. Sorry, I'm bad at reading the chat and doing this at the same time. Check out my GitHub. It sounds good, anime. Have a good night for working. That kind of sounds brutal, I'm not gonna lie. Is there a way to assert that this is true? I don't know. Maybe this. Again, using the bang operator, but I don't care. Because I know it exists, because it's literally defined in index.html. So, I'm not worried about that. Okay, and then I could also use a conditional. I could. Like for here, you mean? Like if this dot game div? Something like this. Yeah, okay. I could do that. Doesn't it's like potato kind of. Like I know it's going to be defined because I literally wrote it like directly in the HTML here, but I'm thinking of having like the game here with the two boards and then underneath like having some settings or something. So I just put that for now. That should be fine. But then I also want a game board, or sorry, a game cell display. So I'm going to do that as well. Game. Just like that. So we'll have that for the future. Because basically a game board is going to be a composition of game cells. Rendering could have caused an issue, maybe. Yeah, that actually could be. Let me re-render it. Okay, so now I've re-rendered it, and I wonder if we can do this now. No. Okay. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Although the render should update the HTML. Yo, Bria, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday evening. Okay, so now, I think for now, I'm going to leave the game cell display empty, and then I'll just, like, populate with something here. Because I'm going to obviously have this be a grid in CSS. So I'll say const cell equals document.createElement div cell docs last name equals game board cell. You having a good Tuesday? Nice. Because you're off? I wish I was off. I've honestly had like a pretty shitty start to my week. So, like at work anyway, so. I think though the script by default, Jay, in Webpack is automatically deferred. If I remember correctly. I remember reading that somewhere. That the script loading is automatically deferred to after the HTML is loaded, because the I don't even have a script tag in here because that's just handled by Webpack, right? So don't quote me on that, but that was my understanding based on earlier lessons. And then we can do what was it? This dot gameboard div dot append child. So or something like this. Obviously, this will exist in an object. Eventual refactor to use game cell display or something like this. Yeah, that's fair, Jay. The only reason I'm using Webpack is because it's what the Odin Project recommends. So, I don't know. I'm sticking with it for now. Anyway, I'll probably move on from it like after the curriculum. But yeah, because my idea for this eventually is to have each game cell be its own object, which stores its own state. Although maybe this is going to be overcomplicating shit. I'm not 100% sure. And then basically the game cell has its own div, which is clickable, and then like each game cell would be each one of these squares, right? I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Webpack, I've heard, is like the traditional bundler, like because there's all these other ones that have been, like there's Veet, and then there's like Bun, and I don't know. Those are the two I've heard of. I'm sure there are more, but those are the two I've heard of frequently. So. Yo, Abdu, how's it going? Welcome in. We're just on our first break here. Still got plenty of time on the stream. Still got another 2-ish hours. So, that's good. It's nice to see some regular folks joining. But yeah, today we're working on finally the display of our Battleship app, because we, have been doing everything for the game logic. Actually, not really the game logic, but the setting up the objects for the like board logic, I guess, the game board logic. Like for syncing ships and placing ships and making sure that they don't collide with each other. So, yeah. But now I think we're ready to bring all the pieces together. You feel like you can't make real stuff. You know what the trick is? Like, I am still in that phase right now, Abdu, but the trick is to make really tiny things. Sounds good, Jay. Have a good rest of your shift. I appreciate you dropping by. But yeah, no, make really tiny things. like literally make a recipe page, right? Like something that'll take you an hour or 2 hours. And then once you make that, then do it again and do it again and do it again. And then eventually you'll get used to that. And then you can build bigger and bigger projects. Yeah, no worries, Jay. I hope your shift goes well. But yeah, no, that's kind of like how I've been approaching this, Abdu. I mean, again, would you say that this Battleship app is like really a big thing? Like, probably not. It's not that big of an app, but you know, learning slowly. Oh, you're trying to be consistent. Okay, you know what I've found helps with that is, well, at least for me, it's the streams. Like I kind of use you guys as motivation to join the stream, because I know you guys are like following my journey, and you know, I want to be there for you so that I can be inspirational, hopefully for you. So that's what's worked for me. I'm not suggesting you stream, but I would suggest you have some sort of way of holding yourself accountable. Whether that's, you can literally post in my Discord. I've got a progress and self-promo channel where you can literally post like, here's what I'm going to do today, blah, 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 blah. And then you can get like, you know, you can find an accountability partner or something. You could do that, or you could literally just find someone in your life. Be like, hey, do you want to be my accountability partner? And then, you know, ask someone, and then maybe they can bug you like, hey, you know, Abdu, did you do your 2 hours of CSS today? Oh, no. You know, you say like, oh, no, I didn't do it. And then, you know, they'll motivate you to do it. I don't know. That's just what I would do. Oh, nice. Nice, Abdu. That's good. That's good stuff. Yes, day X of learning. I find the counter is really good, because then you see you've made progress. It's like, I'm on day, I don't remember, 40 something. 42 or 43, I think. 42. And seeing the number go up is really encouraging. Also, like, this is going to sound weird too, but like my subscriber count increasing also gives me motivation. Yeah, 42. It's the answer to everything in the life and the universe. Is that the quote? I don't know. The answer to everything is 42. It's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Anyway, I haven't actually read the book. I just know the reference. Anyway, all right. So we have these elements now. Yeah, no worries. No worries. So I'll actually target the game, and then we'll do, or game board rather. So I just want to make the cells appear on the page. So I'll do like a width of like 50 pixels, height of 50 pixels, background color of blue or something, and then a border of like this. And then I need a new game board display, which I'm going to combine all of these displays into a superclass. Not a superclass, but like a big like game class. Yo, on us, how's it going? So I need to create this in my index TypeScript here. So I'll do const my game board display equals, and then I think, is this a new game board? Yeah. New game board display. There we go. There's our cells. They appeared. What am I doing? I'm building a Battleship app. Using HTML, CSS, vanilla, TypeScript. Yeah. Yep. TypeScript, though. You can also check the description. Top of the description, I have what I'm doing. And then if you scroll down a little further, I've got an FAQ section with some commonly asked questions that you can check out. Okay, so now we need to obviously make this a grid. So we'll do display grid, and then grid template. I think it's repeat 10. Repeat 10. Okay, so there's our grid. So there's our board anyway. Which looks kind of shitty because the padding and margin are by default. Need to change the defaults. I don't know about the stack yet on us. Yeah, I'm following the Odin Project. You can check it out here. I'm so calm, really. I appreciate that. Okay, so we need to get rid of the... the padding shit here. Yeah, so the border, that's fine. And then maybe it's just the grid display. The game board fills the entire width. That could be a reason. On us, I'm gonna do my own thing. So I'm not, you know, I'm just gonna do my stuff here. I'm not gonna give you a whole spill. If you wanna see what I've already done, you can watch my previous odds on my channel. I have recordings of every single day I've done, so you can go ahead and watch those if you want to. But I'm not gonna go through a whole history. If you want to read, I have an FAQ in the description. You can check out. So if you want a basic rundown, then I would implore you to go there. I'm just thinking about how to do... I just forget what this looks like here. So I need to get the... So get the game board. 519 by 500, yeah, and then when I do this, it increases, yeah. So you know what we can do? This isn't gonna actually work. It's gonna make everything disappear. However, if I make the game board a specific size, then that'll work. There we go. That's what we want. Good. Okay, so there's our grid. And then obviously we probably want like coordinates down the side, right? I don't know actually how to do that. I gotta think about that. So what we can do is we can actually do that in the game board display. So we're going to need a row up here that has letters, and then this is the numbers. I'm just trying to think of the best way to handle that. We also need some padding on this guy too. I'll get some padding on the game object here. Or not padding, but margin. How's it going, DHI? So I'll do a little more than that. So we have the game, we have the content, display, flex, justify content center, something like this maybe. just for now. Maybe a little more margin. What you up to? Building a Battleship clone in HTML, CSS, and TypeScript. It's part of the Odin Project. You can read the description. I have a basic FAQ in the description. So now I'm going to add, I'm going to try and add these letters and numbers, although I think I want to invert these. Maybe make it like this. Kind of looks like shit, but... And then I need a padding. I wonder if I do border. Something like this, maybe. Or maybe 1 pixel. It's kind of a hack, but that works fine. Yeah, I'm gonna obviously fix the colors too. So then all these divs should be good. We got all the divs. Okay. And then I'm thinking of adding like a class or something to or some other div to this. Numerical or axes display. Do I attach the axes to... I'm just debating whether I attach the axes to the game board itself, or the game cells, or whether I just put it on the side of the game board. I don't know. Maybe I actually do it like explicitly. Kind of doing this on the fly, so we'll do another const. Well, actually, we'll say if I is 0, add y axis marker label. Add x axis label. If j is 0, and we'll say constant, x-axis marker equals document, create element, another div, and we'll say x-axis marker dot class name equals x-axis, and x-axis marker dot text content is equal to I. And convert it to a string. And then we append that to the cell. So we say cell dot append child x-axis marker. And we do a very similar thing in the y-axis. J, and like that. So there we go. So I have something like this. So obviously they're not positioned in the right spot, so we want to modify their positions. So that's not too difficult. We can do some relative positioning, right? So we can do x-axis marker. So for the x-axis marker, we want to be display relative, or not display, position relative. And then transform, and we'll do translate x to be 50% maybe. Or sorry, not. That's the x-axis marker. Wait, this is the wrong. J is 0. J is the column. So this is the y-axis. Okay, so that's good. And then we'll center the actual content. Like this. We probably can do this there. And then we'll do translate. Transform is translate y negative 50%, negative 150%. Sure, that doesn't look too bad. Although I don't know why. These are at the wrong positions here. Why is this one lower and then, oh, maybe because of that. Width, 100%. Height, 100%. That's better. Okay. That's what I wanted. And then for the y-axis marker, we do a translate x. Well, the only problem is, of course, for the 0, 0, it's being added to the same cell. Right. So I'll have to fix that bug. What's the sound here? I'll send you the link to the sound. It's just a relaxing YouTube playlist, or not playlist, a video. Some running water. For the project that I'm working on, you can look in the top of the description, Tech Plus. Okay, so we have to figure out how to handle this. Because I want these to be able to overlap. Because if I go to the, if I go to here, get the y-axis marker. Okay, I'm going to go to the very top one. So I have an x and a y. Let's see. Make divs overlap. Forget how to do this. Because the issue is, yeah, they're both being added to this one cell. I wonder if I get rid of the display flex, whether that does anything. No, it doesn't really. Okay. Do I have a special case for the corner? I wonder if I do. Or I can say if I is also equal to 0, then oh, but then that's not going to be in scope, is it? I don't know. I don't know how to fix this. Like, I do, but I don't know what the best way is to do it, I guess. I'll also change this to j+1. And then I think for this, we'll do A, B, C. Array string dot at. I wonder if I could do this. BCD, char at position number of I or j. There. Now we have letters instead of numbers. You know what I can do? Say if I is also 0, then we'll add another class to it and then do another transform. Y-axis marker dot class name equals origin marker. So we'll do origin marker and then we'll do else. So I'll do this. Y-axis marker origin, and then we'll do an else condition here. Else. So then what I'll do is I'll say if it's the origin as well, transform, translate, wide, 100% as well. Okay. And to translate X. How do I do multiple translates here? CSS multiple transfers. Oh, it's just like this. Okay. There's our labels. Okay. Now we're in business. That was kind of a pain. Gross solution. It's a bad comment. We'll say add origin marker if add origin for special transform. Something. Okay. I'll also make the header and stuff look better, so I'll do header. We'll also do body width 100%, and then min height 100 gh. Does that not work? Oh, because the content within it isn't centered. That's probably the problem. Although it should be. So we have our header text. Oh, because it's not a class, dumb. It's just a selector. There we go. That's why. I don't know why this... maybe I also need to display flex the body. That could be the problem. Make this a little smaller too. Ooh. I don't like how that's stretched like that. Maybe it's too small. 400. There, that's better. That's a good size. Okay. I don't know, I'm trying to be more disciplined with my breaks so I don't go drive myself into the ground here. Yeah, no, I'm thinking this looks pretty good. Probably like add some padding to this at the top. We also have a color, or what's it called, a dark mode, light mode, dark mode thing, which will be probably a pain in the ass to implement, but then I think I also want to add, like, because obviously we're going to have two boards, right? We're going to have a our board and then the computer's board. So, what this does. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think our ships will look this nice. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Alright, so let's get back to it. Okay. So what do we want to add? Maybe change the colors a little bit. Color BG equals white, color, main, primary, something like this. Need to do, I think, flex on the body as well. Flex direction column, and then do like a justify content space between, and then add some padding to the header. Oh wait, I already had a body selector. And height is 100 VH. Header footer. Padding. Okay, that's good, I think, for that. So then I need to create the ships, obviously. And then we're going to also need a way to modify the ships on the board. So I think for that we're also going to need a game class. So like game sports class, and then we can have properties here. We can have private human player as a player, human player, private computer player as a computer player, and then private human game board as a game board. Maybe a game board display. Private computer game board. But I want this game to be I wonder if I want this game to actually, because I don't want it to conflict with the things that manage the DOM and the things that manage the like state of the game. Manages game state internally. Not DOM. Keep up the grind. I appreciate you, Jay Kaizen. So in this case, I actually think I want to just pass it a game board, right? Computer game board as a game board. Okay. And then we'll do in the game board display, I think we want to give it a game board. As an optional value. Actually, no. No, I'll just do this. So when we create the game board, that's fine. So I'm going to import the game into here as well. So what else do we need to manage? We have the player, the players, and the game boards. So what we can do is we can say this dot human player, human game board equals new game board. Oh, we can import as a value as well. Okay, and then this dot computer game board equals new game board. And then this dot human player equals new human player. And remove the type. Arguments. Oh yeah, and then I have to give it the keyboard, right? Is that how the human works? Or the player? Yeah, I give it the board. Okay. So okay. This dot human game board. Yo, Dale, long time no see. How's it going? We are making a Battleship game. That has been the focus the last 3 or 4 streams. We're not even close to finishing it yet. This is the reference I'm using. Yeah, no, I hope you've been well. That's good. I'm glad you're doing well. And then we need probably getters for all those. Okay, so we have this game. Now I wonder if I do const game equals new game. That actually does anything. Oh, because there's no display attached to these. So I need the displays as well. Oh, I've been busy making a quiz app. Nice. Oh wait. Display. I need to assign those as well. Computer. Making more projects, right on the grind, just like me. Okay, so there's our game boards. So we have a human game board and a computer game board. Obviously, we don't want them to display like that. So we can change the game here. So we can do display flex, justify content, center, align items, center, and then we'll do a gap of maybe a little more than that. 8. There we go. There's our 2 boards. Okay, that's what we want. I could also do this as like a query, something like this. I don't know what 10% even looks like. That's even in the middle. So this should now grow, kind of. Okay. I appreciate you, Daily Meme Dose. Okay, yeah, so here's our boards. And then I'm thinking what we do is we have, instead of a thing where we drag the ships around, we can place it'll place them randomly like this, and then we'll be able to drag them around. So we won't have an editor like this because I don't feel like implementing it that way. This needs to be fixed here. Computer game board. Oh, no. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. What else do I need here? So there's our constructor. It's our game board display. And we should probably also go through the for the I want to modify the game. Where is it? The game board, not the game board. The ship, to be able to create ships with an optional orientation. Ship orientation. So this dot orientation. Parameter cannot have question mark and initializer. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, that's good. So now basically we can create ships from the constructor that are vertical, which is good. So then we should be able to populate the game board. So what we'll do is we'll initialize the game board display, and then what I want to do is I want to I want a game cell display? Do I or do I not? I don't know. I don't know if I want this extra object here. I don't think, I feel like it'll complicate things. I feel like I can handle all the state within the game board. So what I can actually do is just to test this, I'll do this dot human game board dot create ship at, let's just create a ship there, and then we'll do an orientation of ship orientation dot vertical. And I need to import ship orientation. Expected 1 to 3 arguments by that 4. Oh, because of the game board interface. Orientation is ship orientation. This is a frickin' thing. Okay, so I'll put this here. Len XY orientation. So that should fix this. Okay, so now there should be a new ship here, vertically. Knit game. I should do this here. This dot knit game. This dot human game board dot create ship 301 ship orientation dot And then we need to refresh the game board display. Which needs to have some sort of function. Refresh game board display. I can just call it refresh actually. Init. Or update maybe. Yo, JMac, how's it going? Init display. And I'll do this dot human game board display dot update display, and then we'll draw the ships. So we need to obviously iterate through everything. And then now I need to target this. I wonder if I can just add it in the class name. Like this. Game board cell I J. So now they actually have their coordinates in the class. So then that'll make it easier to target them. It's probably not the best way to go about it, but I don't really care. It'll do the job. So then we'll get the cell equals document dot query selector dot game board cell dot. I wonder if this will actually work. If cell is not equal to null, then console target cell. It's not a valid selector. You got an interview tomorrow? Nice. You got this, JMac. What's the interview for? Field load. Oh, that's not bad. That's not good. SD internals. Nice. It's the final goal. I don't know why this is doing this. Because the selector should be fine. I don't know why it's not. Very selector. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I guess maybe it just needed a better name. Cool. That worked fine. Alright, I'm going to quickly head to the washer. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't think I said your name, bro. I might have said something that sounded similar. Man, this stuff is so much easier once you learn JSX and Tailwind. Yeah, probably. I believe it, JMac. This is the last, I will say, this is the last project with that's the vanilla stack. So, that's good. Well, actually, there might be one more. Because if I go to the curriculum, I think there's another course. There's an advanced HTML and CSS course. This will be fast. I'm gonna do most of this probably off stream because it's a lot of reading. And then we get into React. Sorry, Bria. You don't even remember how to use the DOM API. It's not that tricky, to be honest with you. It's tedious, is what it is. It's just a bunch of accessors, essentially. Nothing too crazy though. I don't know. Basically, I just want to, I'm going to update the display based on whether there's a ship in a certain spot or not. I could say check if cell. Actually, no, I'm not going to. Gotta wait for the break to be done. Else I'm gonna go crazy. I don't know. It's the thing I've really been shit at, is like being disciplined about the breaks. Alright. Okay, so we need to check if a cell is occupied, and we do that through the game board. So we'll say if this dot game board dot board dot occupied. Oh, board ij dot occupied by is how do I check is instance of? Let me see. Is check is instance of TypeScript. I can just do that. Is ship? Is it this simple? No, surely not. Oh, that's action trace. Or action script. My sprite instance of. Okay, yeah. Instance of ship. And we need to import ship. And then if it is, then we add a something to the class list here. So we'll say cell.classList.add ship or something. Otherwise, cell.classList.remove ship. And then now we should have these cells. Yeah, so the ship is there. Y1, Y2, Y3. Okay, and then based on that class, we can draw, change the styles. Background color is like a light blue or something like that. There's our ship. Cool. We one doubt that using AI to build our web is best for reading the document for the web. I think doing it yourself is better. I think it's less error prone. Okay, so there's our ship. And then we can like create a bunch of other ships too. So if we go to randomize, and we'll do like So we'll create our length 4 ship at 0, 3. We have how many ships do we actually have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And then we'll create a length 3 ship at 1, 5. I'm just trying to recreate this view here. And then another one at what is that? 8, 8, 3. Like 2, 2, and 4. Don't need the explicit direction for those. So length 2 will be at 7, 7, 7. And it'll be horizontal. And 4, 4, 7. And then 1, 5. 1, 7. Or no, sorry, 1, 2. No, 1, 5, and then 3, 5. 3, 5. And then 1, 8. And then 9, 9. And then now our display should look like this. Oh, it's flipped. Why? That looks right, just flipped. So that's why we debug this, right? And just flip these around. This is kind of cheese, but I don't know, did that not fix anything? There we go. It's not quite right. Or do I have the... No, that's right. It's the length and then the X and the Y. That should be created up here. Very weird. Let's just do this one at a time. Okay, so that's being created here. So 0, 3. So it's 0 on the X. Oh, I had this wrong. It's 3, 0. That's not. That's why. Okay, I had the coordinates wrong here. And then this is oh, there's 3 2 ones as well. Only 1 3? No, 2 3s, 3 2s. And then that's 5 1, not 1 5. And this other 2 is at 0 0. 4 7 7 7. Now this should look the same. Oh shit, I closed it. Okay, we're very close here. The horizontal one needs to be 7 7. And then the vertical is 4 7. There. There's our okay, so our axes are a little point though, that's the only problem. You're a vibe coder. I'm not a vibe coder, Tommy. I mean, if by definition of vibe coder you mean vibe and code at the same time, then yes. But I do not use AI. Yeah, no worries. You can still follow though. Stream coder? Yeah, exactly. I'm a stream coder. Exactly. I'm just thinking about how I would have these to be click and drag. The only thing is maybe I need to get the shit, and then yeah, the clicking and dragging is going to be tricky. I almost wonder if we draw the ships as their own like if the ships are their own divs. That would make things a lot easier. But I got to think about how I would want to do that. May I ask why I don't use AI? I don't think it's conducive to learning things well yourself. I think that there's still going to be a demand for people to know how to code, even in the wake of AI. I think that a lot of the stuff that AI makes is suboptimal. You can get, let me put it this way, you can get a pretty basic app built with AI, sure, like if you want to make like what I'm making, probably do it with AI, but anything that requires like serious depth, or especially working with security, like high secure data and stuff like that, like, I don't know, I wouldn't trust it. Like I work in IT for my day job, and we are not even close to using AI in our work at all. It would be way too much of a liability. So I think there's still a demand for, or there will be a demand for people that actually know how to code. And I'm not saying that competent programmers can't utilize AI to speed up their workflow. I think that's a legitimate skill set. However, I'm not at that stage yet, and I think I need to really learn the fundamentals strongly so that when I do eventually integrate AI into my workflow, I know what the heck it's doing and I can fix it. Because I think if you're a vibe coder and you're in a position where the AI does something that you can't fix, then you're kind of screwed, I think. And I think that's just a bad position to be in. And I don't really want to be in that position. Plus, I also just like coding myself, too. I'm just removing these bang operators because I don't need them anymore. I just got to think about how to implement the ships as their own display. Because they're obviously going to be children of the game board, right? You fully vibe code since recently, do you get my take? Yeah. That's fine. I'm not against anybody vibe coding. If you want, if it's your thing to vibe code, like if that's what you want to do, then go for it. I just don't feel like doing it myself. And I do think that, you know, all these, like, the AI hype bubble is gonna die, and there's gonna be a demand for people that actually know what they're doing instead of people that learned just how to vibe code. But if you're already competent with manual coding, Tommy, then you might be fine. How did I learn JS? Any doc reference? You check out the Odin Project, which is what I'm following right now. It's a free and open source web development curriculum. I'm just thinking about how I want to handle these ships. I might do a like ship display object or something. Because ideally I want to make them separate from the game board so that I can drag them around. I need to think about how to do this. So if I create a ship on the game board, then in the game board display, I could actually probably populate the game board display based on whether or not there's a ship at a certain location. And I wonder if I handle that in the player. Learning the DSA in JavaScript is good. You could do it in JavaScript or you could do it in Python. I think Python's a pretty good language, or even like something like C++. Although I don't know. Then you gotta have a headache with C++. I just know a lot of the elite people use C++. Okay. don't think I need this game cell object, but I definitely think I need a ship display. And then obviously it has a ship. Right. Constructor, ship. And then we say this dot ship is ship. What about Java? I mean, honestly, whatever language floats your boat. Like, it doesn't really matter. They all basically do the, like, they all, for implementing DSA, they all can do it. It's just a matter of your preference. And what you want to learn, right? So let's, instead of this, I wonder if we add, we can go through the ships instead, I wonder. Or like let ship in this dot gameboard dot ships. And then I can do the only problem is I don't know how I tie the ship display to a ship, right? Because when the ship's created, we know it's in a valid position. This is a tricky problem, I think, a little bit. Let me draw the ship. I wonder then if I actually have a like a div. So I create a div at that ship location. So I'll say yeah, I don't know. I think the problem is that we're handling, like, I'm trying to figure out how to best separate the DOM logic from the actual game logic, right? That's the tricky part. So I wonder then if instead of having a ship display object, we'll just leave this here for now. What if we create a new div? So let's say a constant ship div equals new document dot create element div, and then we'll say like ship div dot class name is ship, and then we'll say x at ship.x, y ship.y. Ship is never, okay, fine. Next. Property X does not exist on type string. What's the point of converting them here? Wants ship in this document about ships. Ah, sorry. What? Why is this a string object? That doesn't make sense. This dot game board. Shouldn't be a string. I don't know why this is a string. I have to think about that for a second. I don't know why that's a string. Interesting. I just think about it. I just I try to solve the problem by thinking about it, and I use Google too. Like I have some docs open right now, not docs, but Stack Overflow, and sometimes I use sometimes some folks in the chat will help me out too. I need to update the rules because I know I have rules from a long time ago that said no backseating, but like I think backseating's fine as long as I ask for it. So I need to update that. But yeah, usually it's from my community, Google, and my own head, and the docs. Like I sometimes use the TypeScript documentation, which I have pinned here. Where is it? Right here. The TypeScript handbook. This is very handy. No pun intended. So I use that as well. But yeah, I need to figure out why this is. This should not be a string. It should be an object. As ship. Oh, it of maybe. There it is. It's not is in. It's of. I had the wrong word there. You use JavaScript? Nice. I mean, JavaScript's fine, Dale. I don't want to deal with the hassle of the typing, personally. And then I'll do like a length too. Size. Ship. Maybe I should really have these as like data attributes, to be honest. Forget the data set thing. Div data set. Here it is. Yeah, okay. I'll use the dataset API for this. I think that'll be better. Because the idea is to have ships that are draggable. I want them to be, like, I want this to be its own div. I want this to be its own div. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. So that's kind of what I'm trying to set up. And then hopefully I get that done in the next 25 minutes, because then I'm going to end stream around 9 o'clock. So in about half an hour. So that's kind of the goal. I'm on a break. Commander Deep. Just if the timer's green, I'm taking a break, so that's usually when I'm like on my phone. So let's finish this up. Okay, so we'll do we need, okay, so ship div dot dataset dot x is ship dot x. Okay. Type coordinate is not assignable to type string. Oh, because I need to make this a string, of course. Dataset.y is dataset dot length is ship dot length and orientation. The only thing is I don't know how to tie this to a ship display. I don't know. So we have our ship display. We could store all this in there. However, I don't think it really matters. So we have all those data sets, it's fine. Although I don't really want to create a ship div every single time. So what we can do is we can actually check whether it exists or not. So we can say we can try to select it. Check for existing div ship at location. So we can do Query selector, and then where is that? Yeah, so we'll do data x equals, oh wait, I need to actually do this as a equals this, shift x, and data y equals shift div might be able to find it, right? And then we'll say if shift div is null, then we'll do shift div equals, actually we'll do all this stuff in here as well. Document, create, element, div. So I need to there we go. And then the length should be fixed. The orientation might change, but the length should stay the same. Now the only thing is moving ships is going to be a little weird, right? The only problem now is that when a ship gets moved, we need to somehow remove its, like, where it was, right? I don't know. This is probably like not an ideal solution. I need to like probably think about this a little bit more in detail. I mean, this will work statically. I think I'll probably save that for like tomorrow or something. I'll think about how to implement the dragging. Because this is getting a little bit convoluted. So, you know what I might do? I might just go back to kind of what we had before. for let I equal 0 i's less than ship length. We'll say this dot cell is at the X and the Y. Import this. Cell dot class list dot add ship. Yeah, so we're basically back to where we started. Pretty much. Unless we don't have that in the style anymore. Oh, we still do. Gameboard cell dot ship. Gameboard display. Document.query selector. That doesn't change anything. See if the so none of them have the ship. Ship class attached. Gameboard display. Dot update display. So the ships are being found. Okay. Maybe the cells are not being found. Ah. Okay, so the cells are not being targeted properly. Oh, because these... That's obviously why. There we go. Fixed it. Good. Yeah, okay, obviously it's rotated. Should probably... There we go. That's better. And then we can do, We can add an event listener to each cell or something to check whether it's been hit or not. So we do that in this. Check hit. We'll do cell.add event listener of click and check it. What we'll do is we'll say actually I don't know how to grab the div from the callback. Grab div from callback. Event listener. Oh, options. Here we go. Oh, those are just, that's not actually what we want. Oh, can I just put this? Does this work? Oh, maybe it does. So I can do this dot. But it's weird because this is referring to the game board display, not the. Dude, yeah, I don't know how to actually grab the reference to the cell. Reference div in event listener. Know which div was clicked. Oh, dot target. Ah, that's what it is. It's e.target. So e.target dot class lists dot add hit. Is that not right? Event target. Well, then what's the type of this? Is an event target. It returns the object to which the event is dispatched. event.target. Yeah, so why is that not u.target.classlist doesn't work? Well, let's just log the class. That doesn't work either. So I want a reference to the div, right? In this callback function. Event.target returns the DOM element, so you can retrieve any property. The class name. That doesn't work either. What if I do this? We got target dot. Nope, that's not right. Let target equal v.target. Oh, that's jQuery. I'm done. I'm not reading. Get attribute. Get attributes. Class. Okay, what methods exist on it? Add event listener, dispatch event, remove an event listener. So these are the only things that exist on that interface. I'll just do it this way. And if we do gameboard cell dot hit content equals let's just make the background color red. Okay, so we can hit squares now. That's fine. I mean, it's kind of messy, but and then we also need to update the hit value. So we need to do this dot gameboard dot board dot hide is hit. Board hit. True. Does it take in a value? Game board. I need to look at the game cell. Is hit. Is hit true. Oh. List up game board. Dot board. And then the game board table is just board cells. Oh, game cell. That's part of the issue. Keyboard display, what's going on here? I have a setter for that though. Set is hit. Game cell. Implements game cell interface. And then, yeah, I'm probably going to need a better way of thinking about this. Oh, it's this. That's okay. Now it works. Okay, so then if I refresh the page and then I hit the top left, we should see. Well, obviously that's hit, but I also want to print out the BenStack game board. I want to console log the game board. There we go. And then this should be hits. This hit should be true. Yes. Haha. Is hit is true. Finally made it right at the end. I'm gonna end stream. But there we go. So that cell is hit, all the other ones should be false. So that's good. I think that'll do it for today. I need to think about how best to handle the ship dragging and stuff like that. Because I need to refactor this logic to drag around ships like this. So I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. But we got the displays looking alright. Could also probably have like a randomize button, which will randomize the location of the ships. But we can click cells and hit them. Doesn't really do anything. But, you know. Yo, how's it going, Stuns? I'm about to end stream, actually. but I'll stick around for a couple minutes to chat. But this is what we accomplished. It's basically just drawing out the Battleship nonsense we were doing in the last couple streams. It's not a functional game yet, but we're getting close. I'm glad it's going good. We're getting close to something here, so. But yeah, we've got, this will be like our opponent's board, or like the computer board as well. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Again, it doesn't really work. Sure, Caro, if you want to design it, you can go for it. I am just working off of this as a template. Yeah, it has been kind of arduous to get to this point, Stuns. Like we've spent, I think this is the third Battleship stream. The third or the fourth. I think it's the third Battleship stream. And we're probably like, I would say halfway there. We've got like 90% of the back end logic done as far as like checking the ship positions and stuff like that, but it's going to be all the front end stuff that we need to do. Like actually like manipulating the DOM and stuff. Which I'm going to leave, that's probably going to take another 2 or 3 streams. But you know, we're getting somewhere. At least we have a board drawn. Yeah, so I think if you start, so today's 42. I think if you start at stream 40, it's either 39 or 40. I don't remember exactly. But I think it's 39 or 40. But yesterday was basically just Jay and I debugging, and then the day before that was setting up the project. So, but yeah, no, you could go back and watch that. So yeah, I've like 7 hours on this. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end for tonight. But thank you all for watching. If you stuck around, I'll be live again tomorrow, same time, and then I won't be live Thursday. So yeah, check out the Discord if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you want to follow my journey, and that's honestly it for me. So peace out.